Am I the whole for not wanting my husband's child to be a part of our life? Over 5 years ago, my husband and I separated briefly after I discovered he had an affair. It was a devastating time in my life, but he entered therapy and made significant efforts to change. Eventually, I chose to forgive him, and we started to rebuild our marriage. Over these years, he's proven himself to be a healthier man and a better husband. We've been married for 16 years, and I thought we had finally moved past the worst of it. However, a month ago, everything was turned upside down. My husband was contacted by a woman he had a one-night stand with during our separation. She had just gotten out of jail, and she told him she got pregnant back then. She demanded $500 via Venmo, threatening to tell me if he didn't pay. He was blindsided. This was the first he'd heard of any pregnancy. She also admitted she wasn't entirely sure he was the father because she had been with multiple partners at the time. She refused a DNA test, so now my husband is pursuing a court order to get one. The whole situation seemed sketchy, but when she sent pictures of the child, I was stunned. The resemblance is striking, and I would be shocked if my husband isn't the father. I feel shattered. My emotions are complicated, and while I'm working through them with my therapist, I'm struggling with what to do next. The child has been in her grandparents' custody for years, along with her sibling, since the mother has been in and out of jail. It appears the child is in a stable, loving home. But here's the truth. I don't want this child in my life. I know how it feels to be resented by a step-parent. My own stepmother didn't have to say a word for me to know she didn't want me around. Later, she apologized, and we have a good relationship now, but the pain of being resented as a child left a lasting impact. I don't want to do that to this child. I don't want her to sense my pain, my anger, or my inability to see her as anything other than a reminder of my husband's betrayal. We have teenage kids together, and the thought of explaining this to them, to our family, or to our friends is unbearable. I've already faced public humiliation from the affair, losing friends who couldn't understand why I forgave him. One even told me she was disgusted by my decision. The idea of reopening that wound guts me. If the DNA test confirms he's the father, I'll support him paying child support. But I don't think I can have this child in my life. Am I a terrible person for feeling this way? Is there any way forward without me being forced into a role I can't handle, or ending my marriage to a man I still love deeply? It feels like my only choices are 1. Trying to be a stepmother to a child who will forever remind me of my husband's unfaithfulness. 2. Walking away from my marriage because I can't bear to stand in the way of his relationship with her. I feel so lost. Am I wrong for not wanting this child in my life?